Hey everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am coming in doing something a little bit different today. I am featuring my 3 artist trading cards for the Oddball Art April ATC swap. I thought it might be a fun change of pace to see how I color something little. I'm starting with my backdrop here, and I'm taking a bunch of different spray inks and spraying them onto some watercolor paper. It's really good, 140-pound. Not really good. It's somewhat good, 140-pound watercolor paper, just so it can hold up to the amount of liquid I'm putting onto it. This is one of the many ways I create backgrounds for my ATCs. If you're not familiar with ATCs, it's artist trading cards. And Oddball does a monthly swap on their Facebook page, where if you get them loaded into the file by, I think, the 23rd of the month, you then get 3 addresses to send yours to, and you receive 3 over the next couple of weeks, and it's always kind of fun to see where you get it. So I thought it'd be fun to show how I make one of the different types of backgrounds I made. I pulled out some bronze distress stain, and that's just a piece of scrap plastic I use. I'm just pressing it into the wet ink and making a giant mess. The theme for April's ATC swap was messy and sketchy, so I thought this really wet, watered down background was kind of the perfect background theme for a messy and sketchy. I dried everything off and then pulled out a couple of stencils, and using a clean baby wipe, literally lifted up the ink I had sprayed down to leave the pattern of the stencils behind. Both of these are just a couple of Dylusions stencils. They're some of my favorites, you can tell by the amount of ink on them. And this is the Prima Pixie dust. This is supposed to help lock down water-soluble stuff. It actually does a pretty good job. It also adds some sparkle and shine to it. I'm adding a couple more splatters over everything, and then I'm going to take this piece of paper away and cut it up into 9 ATCs. An ATC is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and that piece of paper gave me 9. 3 of which I'll use today. The other 6 I will actually send in my swap along with my ATC to whoever is receiving it. So you're going to get a couple of my backgrounds if you get my swap ATC cards. These are the 3 images that I'm using today. The first one doesn't really fit the theme on first glance of messy and sketchy, but the story behind the Fight Like a Girl digital image is that a company tried to claim they had rights over it because they had trademarked the phrase "fight like a girl" something. I don't know. I'm not giving them credit. Not this image. Now notice, nowhere on this does this say "fight like a girl." But the Etsy store pulled this digital image from Oddball Art and from Lizzie because of this claim. Needless to say, there's no claim this company can make over this image. This is Lizzie's original art. It's a girl wearing boxing gloves. I don't know how somebody can claim this, but I thought that whole story was pretty sketchy, and based on that interpretation, I'm using this for my messy and sketchy ATC. That, and it's a really cool image. It's empowering to women, and let's be honest, the more we can empower women, the better. I'm using my copics to color it up. Now, I don't know if you can tell how small these images are, but they're very, very small. They have to fit on the ATC card, and that's smaller than 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I don't often color this small, so it's actually a huge challenge to pull out my Copic markers and get the kind of detail I want on an image this teeny tiny. Also, for some reason, when I printed out this image, I lost a lot of the line work, which is fine. I kind of put it back in with the color, but I'm missing some of the detail that the original artwork had. So when, again, you're working this small, you lose a bit. There's a little bit lost in translation, so your coloring has to make up for what you're losing in translation. I think for the most part I was able to do that. The hair came out like, yeah, hair came out like, if that's the technical term you want. I'm not happy at all with how her hair is, but I persevere on. Everything else, I love how the shorts came out. I thought the shading on the shorts was excellent, and the shading on the top wasn't too bad either. So here is the, I don't have an image number because it had to be pulled from the shop, but when I get it, I'll get it for you. Here's the next one. This is the Glitter Bones unicorn. He is a little sketchy in himself because he's been obviously eating something he shouldn't be, and he's covered in a little bit of blood, thus making him a little sketchy. I also like this sketch, this piece of art by Lizzie, because I think it is the epitome of a really cool. It's got still some of that sketchy, like, just kind of drawn out feel to him. It's not precision, clean lines, and I don't know. There's something also kind of endearing about what's supposed to be the most magical and majestic of all supernatural fantasy creatures, covered in blood, and got wraps, and, you know, you see some of his bones, and yeah, there's something that's fantastically juxtaposed here. I used just the unicorn image, so I didn't use the skull, the unicorn skull, or the flies, or the sentiment on my ATC. I just used the unicorn dripping in blood, because I think it's hilarious. Downright, absolutely think the idea of a unicorn committing cannibalism to another unicorn is downright hilarious. So that's what I'm doing. Like I said, left the unicorn skull out. Probably shouldn't have. Probably should have taken the time to color it up and put it onto the ATC. But it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry. I, in the end, pulled out my glitter pen, and I just touches the glitter. So here's the last one. This is the Easter Basket and Eggs Ghoulish Gifts, or something close along those lines. This was the free digital image we got last month for participating in the ATC swap. See, there's benefits for playing along. Not only do you get 3 really cool ATCs, or 1, you can just do 1 ATC and swapped with 1 other person, but you get up to 3, and they do it every month, which is really cool. And you get to hang little bits of art from other people around the world in your home, which it's, you know, there's something about getting mail. We get so few mail that isn't bills or junk mail or weird advertisements. There's something about getting a card in the mail that's excellent, and then getting these little ATCs, or even, like, it's fun. My kids get so excited to see what I'm opening, because you don't know whose you're getting until you literally open the envelope. I kept the coloring on this guy really simple. Most things I use just 2 colors, because I wanted him to pop from the background. So here are 3 of the backgrounds I picked, sorry. And I'm taking some Distress, Collage Medium, and the Crazin. It makes little crackles. And I'm adding on my colored image. And it looks kind of weird in the beginning. I promise it ends up working. I know it just kind of looks like I'm sticking these nicely colored pieces of cardstock onto kind of messy and dark backgrounds. But I have a little trick that helps blend everything in. I'm apparently incapable of putting these bats down without pulling them every which way. The collage medium that I'm using right now just looks jelly. Not like jelly and jam, but like gel medium. But when it dries, it gets a really cool crackling effect, which you'll see in the end. But I'm adding a little bit of the Crazin medium, because where it's thicker, you get bigger cracks, and when it's thinner, you get smaller cracks. And it's a fun tool to have. I'm pulling out some Tim Holtz stickers just to add little sentiments to each of the ATCs. One is Never Give Up, the unicorn is Take Risks, because again, I think it's funny. And the final one is Be You Bravely. So I figured an Easter basket filled with eyes is being you bravely. I'm pulling out this wax from Prima, and I'm literally pouncing it onto the card to help blend in the colored digital stamp into the background, and it does a very nice job. This one I'm using kind of a rose gold and punching it into both of the corners diagonally from each other, and it pulls the pinks out of her costume into the ground. And this one I'm doing some slate gray. I think it's a tin color, and I'm apparently taking it off screen. And here are my final ATCs. This is the Never Give Up, Fight Like a Girl one. And you can see a little crackling all from the Crazin. Here is our hilarious unicorn who takes risks. And finally, our Ghoulish Easter basket that says, Be You Bravely. Thanks for joining me today. If you want to see more ATCs show up on my YouTube channel, hit that thumbs up button and let me know you like what you're seeing. Want to see more of all that I do? Hit the dragon and that will subscribe you to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today, and head over to Oddball Art Facebook group and check out all that they have going on. They have some really fun contests each month. Thanks for joining me. Bye.